morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got very big news about the Pokemon trading card game. We've got the reveal of the new double set over in Japan, and that is Ancient Roar and Future Flash. Now, this is a set we were expecting for two reasons. Firstly, we had already seen these as trademarks over in Japan, and I've told you this before, right? But let me tell you again. When we do this, when we look at these trademarks, by we, I'm talking about people like myself, the lovely Primal Lugia, the lovely Matthew Arrive. When we look at this stuff, we tend to be pretty good. And the reason, very simply, is because we know what looks right, we know what looks wrong, we know where to look, etc, etc. So for that reason, when we're showing you these, and I tell you it's not confirmed, but it kind of is, this is what I'm talking about. When I told you months ago at this stage about Ancient Roar and Future Flash, and I told you it's not confirmed, but it's happening, and it's going to be the Paradox Pokemon set, well, it now is confirmed, and it is the Paradox Pokemon set, and it is exactly what we expected. It is due for release on the 27th of October, which is incidentally the date I've given you before, again, based on listings over in Japan, and it is going to be a double set, and obviously, as you can see from the booster pack artwork here, we've got one set specifically about the ancient Pokemon, and one set specifically about the future Pokemon. And do bear in mind, in Japan, double sets are exactly that. They are two different sets that essentially mash together into one. So if you want to get Roaring Moon, you'd better go and get Ancient Roar. If you buy a pack of Future Flash, you ain't pulling Roaring Moon EX, ladies and gentlemen. That's not happening. Now, Pokemon did actually go and reveal the Iron Valiant EX and Roaring Moon EX cards, but obviously we'd seen them previously. We don't need to spend any real time talking about them. So let's talk about some new stuff, and in this video, I want to go ancient, and I want to start off with Sandy Shock's EX, a Pokemon which kind of looks alright on the face of it, and then just gets better and better and better the more you look. We've also got, thankfully, a bunch of awesome just extra cards that help show us what these ancient Pokemon look like, and it is awesome. Side note, remember we are seeing the Roaring Moon EX box coming in, and, you know, we saw Ancient Booster Energy Capsule the other day. Now, it's the one that gives you an extra 60 HP and makes you immune to special conditions. It's brilliant, but again, we don't need to talk about this because we talked about it the other day when we saw the Roaring Moon EX box. So Sandy Shocks then, what have we got? Translations from me. But I did check with the lovely Antoine Boulet to make sure I'd not made a silly. I didn't this morning, I got them all. And yes, I am very proud of myself. It was not easy to learn to translate Pokemon cards. So Sandy Shocks then, what have we got? 220 HP basic fighting Pokemon, all fairly standard. Weakness to grass is interesting though, because remember everyone's hyping up Charizard at the moment. Even the game director of the Pokemon trading card game told me in person that he believes that Charizard is going to be a very good card. And that's weak to grass, so people are taking in grass Pokemon for that. This could end up getting caught in the crosshairs. But what we've got is a redonkulous ability. Once during your turn, if your opponent has 4 prizes remaining or less, you may attach 1 basic fighting energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. That is a phenomenal ability. And it's a kind of ability that I love, especially as someone who, you know, I play the game obsessively, obviously, but I also cover the game and I cast the game, and as someone who does that, I adore this kind of ability because this creates a real back and forth between players, because there's going to be situations where you sit there going, but if I get a KO here, I'm going to activate Sandy Shock's ability, and that's going to be super awkward. So you're going to see players setting up, if it's possible with their deck, multiple prizes in one turn, multiple KOs in one turn, to try and avoid falling into the trap of this ability, and I love it. We've then got free energy, 200. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Well, the whole can't attack during your next turn thing, we've seen that a million times over the years. No one needs to worry about that. I mean, in the Sword and Shield era, remember how good Zacian was? That couldn't attack 2 turns in a row. Did that stop Zacian being like the best Pokemon around for a year? No, it didn't. There's a million more examples. That one will do. But you need free energy to do 200. That's pretty good if you can get the energy. Well, 1 goes from your hand. Okay, job's a good one. And then you've got your ability, which gets you that second energy. All right, that's pretty good. But then we actually have another card that we need to have a look at while we're here, because there is a new supporter card. It is Professor Sada's Determination. Now, this is a new supporter card that draws free. That's not particularly good. However, before you do that, you choose 2 of your ancient Pokemon and you attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of those ancient Pokemon. It only works for ancient Pokemon. This is what I said at the start of the video. We are looking specifically at ancient Pokemon here, cards that help them. This is a card that helps ancient Pokemon and only ancient Pokemon. But this now gets 2 extra energy, and but only 1's on Sandy Shocks, but still 1 is on Sandy Shocks. Then you've got your ability, then you've got your attachment for the turn, and boom, you're off. And you're drawing 3 cards at the same time. Make no mistake about it, Sandy Shocks, free energy 200, it's fine, it's not great. But Sandy Shocks, when you can get 1 energy with the ability and the other energy with Professor Sada's Determination, and now all of a sudden you're getting all that energy, yes, now this becomes a way, way better card, and that's the way it goes so often. The attack is decent, but because it's quite easy to get rolling, that just elevates the card as a whole up to another level. And sure, 200 doesn't get your ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill Pokemon V, but you whack a choice belt on there and you absolutely will. You're hitting a decent weakness, which is going to come in handy quite a bit. Lots of things are weak to fighting. You're colorless, a bunch of darkness Pokemon that are poison, so they come through darkness weak over here. Your lightning Pokemon, etc. And I think this has a real chance. Also, while we're here, Energy Switch. Energy Switch just got way better, because one of the things about Sandy Shocks is you're getting an extra energy. It doesn't have to be used with Sandy Shocks. Now, this reminds me of a Regirock that I used way back in the Gen 4 era. This is the one from Legends Awakened that let you discard 2 cards from your hand and attach a fighting energy from your discard pile to Regirock. I used this Regirock, but I didn't attack with Regirock. I moved the energy off of Regirock. This is very much that, but with a much better attack. So I like this as an attacker, but please do not sleep on the fact that you can actually use this with something like Energy Switch or anything else that moves energy from one Pokemon to another. And actually, all of a sudden, this gets way better because it basically turns into energy acceleration combined with Professor Sada's Determination. I am loving this. Now, another card that's gone and been revealed, which is going to help a lot, is Earthen Vessel. Discard 1 other card from your hand in order to use this card. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So it's Professor's Letter. And I want to remind everyone that Professor's Letter was a really good card that saw a bunch of play, because actually searching out 2 basic energy in one go with an item card is really good. Okay? And then, of course, you've got the whole, oh, well, hang on a second, it's a little awkward, you have to discard a card from your hand. But it's not, because I've just shown you 2 cards that accelerate energy from the discard pile. And yeah, you need to get the energy in your discard pile to use them. This is going to come in very nicely indeed. I absolutely adore this. I think we're onto something here, ladies and gentlemen. I really think we're onto something. One more card that was revealed, and I adore the artwork from Masaki Dynamic here. It's wonderful. But we've got Slivering. Now, we've got another fighting Pokemon here. You'll notice fighting is all over this. Not a coincidence. And we got single energy, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. And look, I don't think this is particularly good. And I don't think this is going to win you lots of games, but I love it as a bonus. I love this as a, you know what? If I just happen to catch my opponent with 1 card left in their deck, I can discard it and win the game. Or my opponent desperately needs the last energy in their deck. They've got 4 cards in the deck. This gives me a 1 in 4 chance of winning a game I was definitely going to lose. Not an attack we're relying on here, but a very handy bonus. The main attack here, 2 energy, 120. This Pokemon does 90 damage to itself. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. This card is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And the reason this card is phenomenal, it's a basic Pokemon. Oh yeah, and also, you know, while we're here, Professor Sada's Determination exists. And actually, while we're here, Gutsy Pickaxe exists as well. And I'm not saying Gutsy Pickaxe is great. We've seen this for long enough now that it's probably not. It came out in Astral Radiance. But hey, if the top card of your deck is a fighting energy, you can attach it to a bench Pokemon. And if not, you draw a card. So make a bit of a speed deck. I don't know, it could work. My point is, basic Pokemon, 2 energy, and we have ways to accelerate that energy. So yeah. I'm loving this as a turn 1 going second, 140. It's 140 because remember the burn comes in and then you flip. So it does 120, but you also then get the 20 from burn, so it's going to be a 140. And actually it hits a decent weakness, so against something like a Miraidon, instant 1-hit KO. Against something like a Regieleki V, which still sees a bunch of play, instant 1-hit KO. Against something like a Raikou V, instant 1-hit KO. Arceus V, instant 1-hit KO. You see where we're going with this. There are a decent amount of 2-prize lightning Pokemon around right now that you can easily go and get a KO on here. Turn 1 going second. And maybe it's their only Pokemon and you donk them and win and yay. Even if it's not, it doesn't really matter, because if I'm going ahead by 2 prizes this gosh darn early, I'm totally okay with this. And yeah, I know you do 90 to yourself, but remember, we have that tool, we got the booster tool, which will give you an extra 60 HP, which means you don't actually go down to 50 HP, you go down to 110 HP, which is only 30 less than you naturally start with. Do you see where I'm going with this, ladies and gentlemen? I really like this. I think this is genuinely, legitimately good. I think this is something that has got a great, great chance to be just a turn 1 monster. And frankly, if I'm playing an ancient deck, and honestly looking at everything here, I might be playing an ancient deck, I adore this as a way to just get cheeky turn 1 KOs. I mean, to be fair, if you whack a choice bout on there, and yes, I know that means you're giving up the other tool, I understand, but if you whack a choice bout on, you're getting a 1-hit KO on an Arceus V-Star. It's got great potential for turn 1 KOs going second. By the way, I'm just giving all of this 5 Wassies. I think this is all brilliant. I think we've just got a whole suite of stuff here, which is just great. We are accelerating energy, we're getting quick KOs, we're getting powerful KOs. I think all of this is great. I am very excited. Get hyped about ancient decks, ladies and gentlemen. They could be good. Right, that's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for all the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.